Good morning. It's good to be with you this morning. And again, sorry I'm a couple minutes late, but somehow I couldn't get on Facebook Live. But here I am. So it's good to be with you. We'll be building on the 4 pillars of healthy Christian business leaders. And again, pillar, number 1 is simply healthy relationships. Number 2, biblical financial values. Number 3, biblical spirituality, and then finally, balanced living. This week, our focus is and has been on healthy relationships. And again, the theme for this week has been simply made for relationship. And on Monday, we talked about, that we were made on purpose. And then we talked about the fact that we were of the animal kingdom on Tuesday, but not an animal. And then yesterday we talked about the fact that simply God is not enough. And we looked at the fact that God himself says that. And then today is kind of building on that one and just talking about the fact that something lacking in paradise. And so what is paradise on earth? We started in paradise, and many of us have been looking for paradise our entire lives. And so you may be one of those people that's just looking for paradise. You are striving for it, wanting it. And of course, as a believer, one day, the scriptures teach us that we will be in paradise with Christ, which will be, in essence, will be heaven, and involving this world being a new earth and a new heaven where we will live with Christ forever. And so that's kind of in us to kind of long for, desire to be back in paradise. But what if paradise was not perfect? Now I'm talking about the paradise that we came from, that Adam and Eve lived in. What if it was not perfect? And I know you might think, well, that's kind of an odd thing, because let's face it, that's the whole point of paradise, that it's a perfect place. It's great. It's wonderful. Well, God said that there was something not good in paradise. And so you have paradise, but there was something that wasn't good. Genesis chapter 2, verse 18. Now, we talked about that at length yesterday, because that's the verse in which God says that it's not good for man to be alone. So mankind had basically everything you could imagine. If you think about this, we get people today that are, they have these huge mansions and they've got all this, they got everything you could possibly want, and yet their lives are empty, and they're lacking, and they're always looking for more. Well, right with Adam, that was a reality. Mankind, Adam was placed in this beautiful garden. He had everything that you could possibly imagine, but the reality was that it still was not good. He had the best climate. I live in Northern Ontario. We're expecting snow tomorrow, and it could be snowing here. I've heard as up to 5 days and possibly up to 10 centimeters a day of snow. So that's a good chunk of snow, depending on what you like. That could be paradise, or that could be anything but paradise for you, depending on the climate. But really, the climate that Adam was in, it never rained. It was a beautiful place. The plants and all of that were simply fed through the dew that would come up in the morning from the ground and would feed them. And you can read all that in the early chapters of Genesis, and it's all right there. And then he had the best food. It was just a matter of going and picking. Pick the trees, pick whatever, and enjoy. Of course, God had put one tree in there that they weren't allowed to eat from, and we know that. And if you're familiar with that story, that kind of led us to where we are today, where we live in a fallen world. But they had everything. And so it was fantastic. And so here is Adam living there. There's all these animals. There's all that great stuff. Literally, if you think about going to the zoo, and I've been to the Toronto Zoo, and I've been to multiple zoos back up in the day. Earlton, I used to have a zoo, and go up there and go to that little zoo. But Adam's Zoo was perfect, because the animals were there. They were in harmony with each other, and he literally named all the animals. And so here he has this opportunity to connect with the animals. not just from a distance and see them in their cages, but literally they're roaming free, and he has this great opportunity to have opportunities to be with them and have a a wonderful time. And then he has the best relationship with God. God would come and walk with him at night. And so Adam would be doing his thing, during the day, but God would actually come down and be with him and walk with him. I mean, what more could anybody want? And yet God said, it's not good. It's not good that man be alone. Mankind was made for companionship. And you can get into all kinds of things about the creation of Adam and Eve, and how God made Adam sleep and then took a rib from Eve and from Adam and created Eve, and that she is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh, and that's all right there in the scriptures, and that's very significant. But the bottom line is, God said it was not good for mankind to be alone. So all the nice things man had still left him missing something. There was still something that wasn't right. What I find significant here is this, that paradise without human connection is not really paradise. Again, I want to state that very clear. Paradise without human connection is not really paradise. And I'm not talking about marriage. Marriage is great, and obviously, but not everybody gets married, and I get that. But we still need human connection. We still need to be able to connect with people. And so today, as you go about your day, I want you to remember that paradise isn't real without human connection. And we've been talking this whole week about the fact that you were made for relationship. And so my encouragement today is this: may we work at developing our human connections. May the Lord bless you and have a great day.